Hi folks, this is Danny at Bradley James Classics, and I'm bringing you something a little different from my usual classic car lineup. However, we do like to bring you quality cars, and I think showing you a Toyota HIACE Touring from 1999 with just 88,000 miles on it, albeit being a Japanese imported vehicle, it does actually show the kilometre version of that distance in the cab. This is an exceptionally good rust-free example of the beloved Toyota HIACE. Now, this particular one has had a very nice history. It's just had a single owner since it's been here in the UK for the past 7 years. The gentleman who owned the vehicle had a very high quality professional sort of living accommodation conversion done in the back, which I'll show you in a second. So it literally does have the kitchen sink. We'll get on to that, but I'm just giving you an initial walk around so you can have a little look at the van itself. Now, this is a 99 model. I mentioned it's covered just 88,000 miles. It's completely rust free. It's rock solid underneath. And the previous owner is a type of gent that when there's an advisory, he gets the work done. Really old school. It was an older gentleman who previously owned this. So I've got invoices which show regular servicing for the 7 years in which he owned it. Invoices that show front and rear brakes and brake discs and pads. Tyres changed, anything the vehicle's needed to keep it well maintained. Now, we're going to have a look around the vehicle together. Initially, I'll just start, it is in exceptionally good condition for its age. Remarkably, it's 21 coming up to 22 years old, but when you see how well it's fared, a long life over in better climates, i.e. Japan, would certainly help with the corrosion, but it's certainly been well looked after since it's been over here in the UK. So we'll have a look around the vehicle, and you can see that there's a distinct lack of any damage. There is a little dent here, but it's quite minor. The alloy wheels all round have got some oxidization to them, but certainly very reasonable condition. We've got tinted glass at the back where this has been a touring version of the HIACE. That did mean it was rather plush, and we'll have a look inside for all of the air conditioning, the heating system, curtains and various seat arrangements. Through the back, she's in good condition, as you could imagine. On this back bumper, you've got 1 or 2 marks here, but again, we step back and it doesn't look like anything drastic at all. High level spoiler with a brake light built in. Just walking around to this side, as you can see, the alloy wheels does have some oxidization on, but by no means bad. And then actually some of the stickers, because they're getting on a bit, they show their age as well. And here's a bit of a clue to the conversion that we're going to look at in a minute. Now, this is very much a slab-sided side of the van because there's no door here, and that's all in very nice order as I walk down that side, and in very good condition, hopefully captured well by the camera. It's quite nice that we've got these deflectors here, keep the noise down. And on the front, all good through the front bumper, but there's some fading paint on this plastic panel at the front here. But again, I got in quite close for that. It looks pretty reasonable when you're up close. Big powerful headlamps. This is the 4th generation, which is facelifted of the HIACE. So I think quite a handsome van. We're going to have a look in the driver's side first, and I can tell you that it is a high spec, and we're going to look at some of the features, but the seats are really beautiful and clean. This has been very well looked after. We've got a sunroof in the front, we've got a sunroof in the back. That's a Pioneer DAB stereo. There's some leads underneath to connect your MP3 player, There's a remote control for that, and here's a panel that deals with the air conditioning. And also you can control the various heating. It's an automatic 2.7 petrol. It really is very powerful and easy to drive. It's 4x4, so it's very sure-footed. And we got things like electric windows, mirrors, central locking. The vehicle does come with its 3 keys, which I have those in my hand here. And we have a logbook, we have the service history since the vehicle's been here in the UK, plus there's all the manuals, albeit them in Japanese, which come with the vehicle, which are in the back. So this is the driver's cabin. Very clean, very tidy, lovely to drive, no known issues at all, no warning lights. Very easy to drive, and certainly from behind the wheel, that's a good place to be. We'll have a quick look in the passenger side. Plenty of space. It's got its Toyota mats, and then the carpet is perfect underneath. This seat's in lovely condition, and if I pull something under here, pull it forward, this seat starts to turn round, and that will turn round ultimately to face the back. In fact, if I'm clever, I think I might be able to do that. It's all very tricky to do it with one hand, but if I carry on moving it, you'll see that this seat is now locked in, faces the back, and there is an armrest that goes up there. So that didn't take long to do. Now let's go into the back itself. Now this is a great touring van, because straight away you'll notice you've got some seats here. Now these seats quickly fold down, and in fact they come out. So if you're driving along and you fancy having a little table here, that's very quick to do. You can do that with that seat as well, and then it's very quick to pop that back up, and then using some buttons underneath, this whole seat can just come out and it can be left in your garage. So as you can see straight away, you've got two people can sit in the front, and you can get 3 across the back, all with seat belts. Here's the curtains, and they're very smart, and they cover the side windows. And we're going to have a look in the back in a second. You can tell this table sits up like so. The leg comes out, and that's an area where you can sit down and have a cup of tea, and you can have a cup of tea right next to you, because there's the 2 rings, and there's the little sink right next to you. Underneath we've got cupboards, which are easily accessible. Underneath these seats there's boxes for extra storage. I'm just going to store that on here for a moment, and obviously you can sit down in these 2 little chairs opposite each other, and this is where you might have something to eat. This is a huge sunroof up here, which lets in the light as you're driving, and then you've also got control panels up here to work the air conditioning, which comes into the back. And then you've got a nice big lighting panel here. You've also got, just tucked down the back, I hope this is gonna, I can feel it, I know there's a little switch in here somewhere because I was pressing it earlier. So this turns on a little panel which gives you a USB here. It gives you a second cigarette lighter here, and down here we've actually got 2 240 sockets which work when you're on a campsite. And as I feel around here, I'm just looking for the switch which turns on the LED lighting. There we are. So up in the roof, can you just see I've got those lights which have just come on and off. So that's how that works there. That looks like we've got a little fire extinguisher in the back, and as I mentioned to you, that table sits up like so, or it can be completely removed, and there's the leg underneath. Now this hasn't had a lot of use. It's all in excellent condition. I've got a invoice from a company called North Star that did this conversion, and they call it their driftwood design. It's very smart, very professional. You can tell from when you're driving down the road there isn't any adverse rattles. It's all been installed very, very nicely. So if I go around the back and open up, I've now got a nice view of that rear fitted kitchen. Now the kitchen itself, it does have a series of cupboards and panels, cleverly, you can pop that table, can you see on that rail there? So the table can come out and you can actually sit side by side of the table outside as well. Very clever design. And there's a series of cupboards I'm going to open up for you. Well, here's one that shows all the electrics, and there's a leisure battery, and then there's the split charge relay, there's the charger, that's the fuse box, and then there's fuses, and everything is then powered while you're on a campsite by using a socket into here, and that's when you're at the campsite, but otherwise you've got everything working off 12 volt as well. Here's the water bottles. They're clean and as new really. One's waste, one's clean. This is literally that easy to use. Now there's no water in there at the moment, but that's an electric tap. These are the two burners I told you about, and on the end here, this is where your gas bottle would sit, just in there. And that's a handy little storage cupboard as well, quite large. And there's also, I guess, storage in here, which is quite a generous size cupboard. Now, as I say, if we are the other side where you're sitting inside, you can access underneath here as well, and it's an excellent design. So really you can use your kitchen when you're outdoors camping. You can sit down outside your van. You've got, I guess, like a canopy. This comes immediately over your head, and what I was told is that the people generally used to use this as their touring bus, and if they wanted to do any camping, it is possible to buy a pop-up awning which comes onto the side, and you can pop in and out there, sit inside if it's raining, otherwise spend the night in a tent. Obviously we're using it here with these extra seats, but with these extra seats taken down, then of course there's room to come out. This seat turns around and you could look at sleeping inside the van as well. I can't really tell you a great deal more about the camper van aspect of it, because hopefully I've just shown you it. It does have these little seats inside. I mentioned to you can access the cupboards from the inside, and there's the electrics, and I think that's pretty much everything you need to know about the inside. Let me just shut this up once more. Stepping away, this one has an MOT through to November 2021. It starts on the button, there's no faults, it's very easy to drive, it's powerful with its 2.7 petrol engine, smooth automatic gearbox, and obviously the reliability of Japanese Toyota, who've been making these HIACEs into, well, just about every global market. In various markets they might have a different name, but the underpinnings are always the Toyota HIACE. I described the van the van is in excellent condition, having lived the majority of its life overseas, and for the past 7 years it's been here in the UK with its single owner. Well, hopefully this walk around video has given you a little bit of an idea of how nice this little touring HIACE is. Even if you go and look these up in Japan, they want £10,000 and you still got to get them home from this era with this sort of mileage. So I think this one represents very good value for money. It is an excellent, easy to drive camper van, and I think compared to some of the other brand of camper vans, it does represent really good value, considering it's had a recent professional conversion done. It's ready to use. It's a handsome, easy to use van. All of our vehicles go through our own workshop, so there's a thorough PDI turned out, tested everything, making sure that she's good to go. We can deliver this vehicle anywhere in the UK at a competitive price point, and we're happy to do so. Well, I think that's just about as much as I can tell you about this 1999 2.7 automatic petrol engined touring HIACE from Toyota. Partial conversion at the back, adding the kitchen, still 5 seats, and you can tour in style. These are a lovely thing to drive in. Plenty of visibility out of these vans, of all these handsome large windows, all tinted. It really does look a very nice van, and I think you'll be very happy when you take this one out on the road. I think that's as much as I can tell you today, folks. Please get in touch through the usual channels. I'd be delighted to help you with any questions you have regarding this lovely van. Take care, and thank you for watching the Bradley James Classics YouTube channel today. Bye now.